So it is the last Friday of the month, and you know what that means. We're getting supernatural. We've got Chris Boers, Ghost Behaviorist, author of Haunted Toledo, and Ghost Doctor here joining us today. How are you, my friends?
I'm good.
Good. Well, we love how like Hollywood and the supernatural come together, because recently Ant-Man came out, and they were doing some things that are right up your alley. Tell us about this. What's it called again?
Yeah, so it's Ant-Man QUANTUMANIA.
Right.
And what happens is Ant-Man shrinks down to the quantum realm,
right,
and just finds another world down there. And you might be wondering to yourselves, what does the quantum realm have to do with the paranormal?
I'm wondering right now.
And in fact, everything, because what I found is that spirits have to punch through the quantum state to even get into our physical universe. And one of the ways I was able to test this, there's a bunch of theories within the quantum physics universe. And one of those theories is quantum entanglement. And this says that there are 2 points, regardless of space and time, that exist between two locations, right, that if one thing is affected, they're both affected. So I wanted to try this out. So I went to the Oliver House downtown. Yeah. I set up 2 cameras on opposite sides of the building, and I put meters in each location and I filmed them. So these meters were unaffected for a good hour or so. And then I started to do what I call a singing bowl ritual,
right,
which helps
yes,
heal the spirits, you know, say prayers to them. And when I was doing it in one location, on one side of the building, the other side of the building started to react. The meters that I had set up started to go off. And they went off the entire time I was doing this ritual, a good 2-3 minutes. Right. And as soon as I stopped, both meters stopped. And have this on film. It just kind of blew me away when I went back and reviewed the footage. I'm like, what is going on here?
Right.
So it just confirmed that, yeah, quantum entanglement, these 2 locations were attached in some way.
But hopefully you didn't get involved with Kang, right? That's just...
No.
Someone,
no,
he's a little nuts. We gotta keep him in the quantum realm. Well, that's remarkable. And, you know, I'd love to understand more about how physics and science, you know, the one kind of group that's always coming for us with the supernatural, it kind of explains it for you. I mean, isn't that crazy? Yeah,
so there's another, I don't know what to call it, a thing in quantum physics called the uncertainty principle. This is kind of hard to grasp, but it states that the observer collapses the quantum state. So in layman's terms, if I'm looking at a certain point, a fixed place in time and space, it says that the spirit cannot burst into our universe because I'm observing it. And the best way to illustrate this is, I'm sure you've probably heard of the slit theory, where they aim protons at a wall, and if somebody is observing it, there's 2 beams of protons going at the wall, and you turn away, it splits into 3. But if you turn back, it splits back into 2. So it just says that the observer affects what's going on. The same thing happens with the ghost realm. So if you're observing something, they have a hard time to burst into our realm.
Right.
And I tried this when I was a guide at the Collingwood Art Center.
Which we know is very haunted.
Yes, very haunted. So we were in the basement there, and I had a ball, and I placed it on the floor, and we were interacting with the spirit of a little boy. And I said, can you move this ball? And we had a meter down there that Spike said, yes, I can move it. So after a couple seconds, nothing happened. And I said, are you trying to move the ball? And he's like, yes. I'm like, are you trying as best as you can? Yes. And so I had like 3 people in the room. So at that point, I said, okay, everybody just turn away. Because I knew if we don't observe it, they can affect the physical realm better. So we had 10 seconds. I turned back around, and the ball had moved. Now, it was only a centimeter, but it moved. And what was crazy is I was looking at this ball very closely, and it was vibrating. So it really affected by turning away.
Right.
So, yeah, again, it just... quantum physics is really affected by the ghost realm. Using science to prove them right, I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. Okay. And so now, did you go and see the Ant-Man film? What can you tell us? Are they getting it right when they're talking about? Well, it's a lot of it's Hollywood, because I don't know if there's a universe inside of a smaller universe. Right. But to go back to the quantum theories with the uncertainty principle, it's kind of funny because I was talking, when I was giving a lecture, I was talking to this guy about it, and he couldn't grasp it. And he was like, I don't know if I believe that. And he was sitting there telling me about, you know, he's set up cameras around his house, and every time he sets the cameras up, you know, nothing happens. And he said, things only happen when he turns the cameras off. And I looked at him, I'm like, really? I'm like, uncertainty principle. I'm like, you have those cameras on, so everything's being observed. Once you turn those cameras off, You know, it's a playground for these spirits. Right. So I don't know if that really ties in with Kang, but
yeah, but then in 2, it's almost like you know, if you can't get it on film, then you just have to have faith, right?
So I guess if Kang wants to burst into our universe, just don't film him because
just don't film him. He has an agent, so we can't afford Kang anyway, right? In this 21st, 2nd century, wherever we are. All right, well, Chris, it's always so interesting when we have you on here. Where can people follow you? You have a very popular YouTube channel. Give it a plug.
Yeah, just look up Ghost Dr. Chris. I can pop up on Facebook, YouTube, all those social media channels.
Excellent. You're also a big gamer too, am I right?
Yes.
What channels are those?
Yeah, so that is the Irate Gamer on YouTube, and I do a bunch of that stuff. So.
A bunch of that stuff. Cool. All right. Well, can you give us a tease? What do you think we'll be talking about next time?
Well, I'm almost done with my book.
Oh,
so I've got like 128 pages now. I'm looking for a publisher. That's hoping that comes together.
If you're listening, Haunted Toledo is already on its 3rd printing, so
yes.
Get going, and we love that book, and we'll want to talk about it more. And thank you again, Chris, for coming. We can't wait to see you on the last Friday of March. We'll have all those links up on NBC24.com so you can catch him and follow along. We'll be right back with more weather.